A recent study showed that 72% of entrepreneurs were affected by some sort of mental health condition. And maybe you can relate to them feeling trapped in the hustle culture hamster wheel, wondering if there's a better way to achieve business success. Recently, I sat down with Graham Cochrane, a multiple seven-figure entrepreneur who shared the secrets to his success. My name is Chris, the founder of Life Edge, where we help you learn, grow, and succeed. I'm excited to share 3 of the most underrated business tips from my conversation with Graham that can transform your approach to business and life. The first and perhaps most important piece of advice Graham shared was to understand yourself.
I mean, I think most people don't do enough self-reflection because it's hard, sometimes not fun, and we're too busy. So the real thing here is that no one knows who they are. No one knows, like, we think we do, but we really don't know ourselves very well. And admittedly, I don't either. I'm on a constant journey of learning about myself. And, you know, I do that through a variety of means, hiring coaches, you know, journaling. Like, it's funny, I used to hate journaling and make fun of people that journal, but it's been the most helpful practice the last 2 years. I've been very consistent with it almost daily. Of when I write down my thoughts, and then I see my thoughts on paper, I then better understand myself. It's like a mirror. If you're talking about business, it's like, how does she run her business? What is he doing with his content? It's just a cop-out to just look and just do what they're doing. It takes a little bit more work to look inward. But I think the rewards are worth it if you figure out like what makes you tick, what you want out of business, what you want out of life. It kind of gives you the freedom to show up as yourself and to be comfortable in your own skin. And ironically, it's going to be your strategic play as well. It's a great way to succeed in business is to figure out who you are uniquely and then exploit that uniqueness in the service of others and in the pursuit of your goals, because you can win a whole lot of different ways, and you might as well just win the way you're designed.
Taking time to understand yourself was the step that I skipped when I started Life Edge. I didn't stop and think what I wanted the business to look like in 3 to 5 years. I didn't really think about the target audience and who I was trying to serve, which meant that I didn't know what the message was I was trying to convey. So this one really hit home because I needed to go back and answer all 3 of those questions in order to be able to move forward in the right direction. Graham's second tip: don't blindly hustle.
I think a lot of the hustle culture is propagated for a lot of reasons. One of them is I say that hustle is just laziness in disguise. It's really easy to hustle. It doesn't take any thinking or creativity to just do a lot of activity. It's the laziest thing you could do, is just work all the time. The hardest thing to do is actually to stop and think about what actually moves the needle in my business and what is just a bunch of activity that makes me feel like I'm doing something or look important. And that takes some initial work to figure that out, but the rewards are worth it because then you can dump 80% of what you're doing and still make the same amount of money, if not more. You can build an incredible business in 20 hours a week if you want to. I had 32. I gave myself 4 days a week, 9 to 5. So I had 32 hours a week was all I had when I started with nothing, right? So I was limited to 4 days, but I think I could have done it if I only had 2 days a week. I just didn't know a lot of the things I know now.
I know for me, this one was a struggle because I felt guilty if I wasn't getting up at 4 a.m. and grinding on my business all day until 12 a.m. midnight, only sleeping 4 hours a day, somehow finding time to get to the gym and do this morning routine. And this was really refreshing for me to hear that my job as an entrepreneur is to just be as efficient with the time that I have set aside to work on the business. And the third tip is don't forget this is your life, so live it.
And maybe I just had some wisdom in my mind from day one that, like, the business is never meant to be the thing. Like, my life is the thing. The business is just a thing to support my life and serve my life, not the other way around. And so I think when we get either excited about business or we feel the pressure for the business to work, we will give up everything at the altar of the business. And I know what that feels like when you have to make money. Like, I get that. But we'll go too far, and then we might even have quote-unquote success monetarily with the business, but we wonder why we're hating life or we're burning out. There's so many YouTubers right now and online business owners that are burning out because they put the business first and they didn't look out for themselves and they didn't really align it with the way they're wired. So, yeah, I think I intuitively knew some of the things I wanted, but even I fall prey to you know, when the business hits a level I'll be happy when it's six figures. Then, maybe I could do multi-six. Maybe I could do $500,000. Maybe I could do $1 million. Maybe I could do $2 million. And then I'm looking at other people. It's natural, right? So it's like a recentering. Who am I? How am I designed? What do I want out of life? What do I need? What does my family need? And how could I orient my business around those things? And that's why you're going to see so many different business owners doing different things, because hopefully they're operating out of that alignment.
It's easy to get distracted and see everyone out there who says you have to build $100 million business, then you have to build $1 billion business, and you need a jet and a yacht. Maybe that's not what you want. So build the business that suits your life and your desires in the future, not what everybody else is doing, what everybody else is chasing. Figure out what it is you want and then build that life. Here's actually a fourth bonus tip from Graham: mindset.
The people in this room have an abundance mindset to the nth degree, as opposed to a scarcity mindset. When you're a six-figure entrepreneur, it is still very possible to have a scarcity mindset. And the way it shows up is like to make six figures a year is a huge accomplishment, especially if it's your own business. Like, you would think you would have a level of confidence of like, wow, I climbed this mountain. You know, median income in America is like $48,000 a year, and I'm making more than double that, and I did it on my own. You would think you'd have confidence, and some people do, but what happens is you get to the top of a mountain and you're afraid to fall off, you know? You're like, oh gosh, what if this all goes away? What if it was a fluke? What if the algorithm changes if you're an internet business like me? What if? In the rooms I'm in, the number one thing I noticed was like, oh my gosh, these people, they have confidence for days, in the sense of like, they both simultaneously think I could take over the world and I could build anything I want to build. And they're coming up with all these ideas. And then they're like, but if that doesn't work, and even if my business falls apart, I would just start something new and I would figure it out. They're betting on themselves. They have a history of creating value in the marketplace. And so they're not so obsessed with their business and the model or the economy being just right. It's really, they've like, I've proven that I can do great things. And no matter what the economy does, or no matter what business happens in the marketplace, like, I'm still me, and I could go create something new. And that's intoxicating. It was very instructive to me, because I went in and it really revealed a lot of my insecurities and my scarcity mindsets that still play with me. And so I've been in this group for a year and a half now, and it's like, wow, in 18 months, I can see my growth of like, dude, I can not only do anything, but even if what I do doesn't work, I would just go build something new, because it's just me serving people.
I would love to know which of these tips resonated with you the most, so just drop a number down below in the comments. And remember, this is just a piece of the information that Graham offered, so click this video here and listen to the full conversation.
This is the problem, is that people have no idea who they are, what they want, and they're frustrated. And they're frustrated because they think they want something and they're not getting it, or they think life should be a certain way because someone told them or whatever, and it's either working, but it wasn't satisfying. Like, I got that, I did what they said, but that didn't satisfy me.